All right, blue-green Wakeroot combo. Let's see if we can figure it out. So Wakeroot Elemental says, pay 5 mana, untap target land you control. It becomes a 5/5 elemental with haste. It's still a land. So this, alongside Growing Rites here, says it makes mana equal the number of green creatures you control. So if you have at least 6 creatures in play, along with Cradle of the Sun and Wakeroot, these two together make infinite mana if you have at least 6 creatures, right? Because this will tap for 6 and then untap for 5, because notably, unlike Nissa, this doesn't say the land has to be a non-creature to be targeted by it. So this, along with this, if you have 6 creatures out, makes infinite mana, right? And this counts itself as one of those creatures. So you technically only need this plus 4 other creatures in play. Leyline of Abundance also reduces the number of creatures you potentially need, because it lets this tap for an additional 1 with this out too. So lots of different ways this can break in a reasonable way. So we got some things going on that are similar to the blue-green Flash core as well, with the Nightpack and the Frilled Mystic, along with Spectral Sailor. Oh, is Pulse of Murasa an orb? Did I miss that? Is Pulse of Murasa an orb? It might have been an orb, you're right. It totally is. Alright, let's fix that. Can you tell I don't really like the red cards? None of the red cards are very good. I guess Flame Sweep's playable, but most of these red cards are not constructed playable, which is sad. How do we actually win? You make all your creatures into 5/5s and attack. Or make all your lands into 5/5s and attack. You can also if you have a Leyline of Abundance out, you can make all your creatures arbitrarily large. Sand seems good. Turn to Viv on the play. Yeah, the borderless lands look really great. Like them much better than the full art lands. These things are squares on the battlefield anyway, so the fact that the lands are full art doesn't really add any value to them. In my humble of opinions.
Let's see if you're worth. Have you ever lost a
So, and this is one of the things that's awkward about this combo on Magic Arena, is that when you make infinite mana, you technically make infinite mana of every color, because you can sit there, once you have infinite green mana, you can infinitely untap your island over and over again. So infinite green mana leads to infinite mana of every type.
Every story is an opportunity for you to seek and find.
I think the individual power level on Vivien is pretty okay. And I also think the fact that she helps us find combo pieces is a big deal. They do not, Bob. So this is a little unfortunate here. Maybe I should have played these. I think I messed this up, and I should have played these last turn, so that way I could have Frilled Mystic up this turn. Yeah, because they're gonna cast this Nissa and start attacking now. I can't play these because I don't have green mana, or I don't have 2 blue mana. If I would have played these last turn, I could have done that. Could have grabbed islands into the second mix stick. I could have, but that wouldn't have done anything, because that's not how Vivien Champion of the Wilds works. So you're correct that would be a legal play. It would not just end up it would not end up with us having a result that we'd be happy with. just gonna go ahead and kill their Tameo here.
This study
And then play this out. And then, yeah, our lands are gonna be bigger than their lands. We're a cradle away from doing the thing, right? So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana total here. And then the Frilled Mystics insulate us from... Well, that'll do, pig, right? Oh, wait, do I need 5? No, 4 or more. Is that a stop on my end step? Alright, so I tap this. Oh, right. It's gonna start tapping for 2 more here. So now we untap this. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Alright, so we have to click every time. Got it. Oh, that's true. I can make a couple more land creatures, and this'll start making more mana. Yeah, now I have 11, so I can untap this one, and then untap this one. So now every activation is netting us more. This is sick. I mean, we have 2 Frilled Mystics, chat, and we have Paradise Druid. I love when a meme does its thing on the first try. It's my favorite. This doesn't seem like a stream-friendly deck. It's not a super arena-friendly deck, no. I mean, all things considered, as far as, like, infinite combos are concerned, this is, like, relatively quick. Yeah, I don't need to do too much more right now, right? So I'll just pass. There's my squad. It is because once you make all the rest of your lands into creatures, this starts tapping for so much mana. And I technically have infinite mana of every color here, so I can Frilled Mystic them twice. Because I can sit there and untap the island over and over again to make lots of blue mana. So they should be dead here. This is the part of the game where if we were playing in paper, I just flip these Frilled Mystic fakes up and just be like, can we go to the next one? No, they don't. These are exiled face down. Vivien exiles face down. You have a big Hydroid Crisis, sure. There's like trying to get me to concede to a mass manipulation. They're very dead on board. They have to block every one of my attackers, because every one of my attackers is going to be arbitrarily large next turn. So they need 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They need 10 blockers this turn. They're just wasting everyone's time. Probably because they're salty because they lost to a meme. All right, well, the bar has been set incredibly high after the first game. I feel like there can only possibly be disappointment waiting for us in the future. Finally subbed through PC rather than mobile. Thanks for the 4 months, Tuber. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. What do I want to cut here? I probably want Negates and Frilled Mystics here. I feel like I want Negates and Frilled Mystics. Like, as ways to interact with their stuff. Maybe trim a couple of Spectral Sailor. I guess this is a really good mana payoff. I don't know how I want to board here. Is Nightpack Ambusher not good? Maybe Nightpack Ambusher's the cut. It like blocks Nissaland's okay, but that's about it. I'm gonna cut Nightpack Ambusher for the counter spells. Yeah, maybe a Mana Dork's the trim. I could see that. This hand's great. I wonder if this card is better than Incubation Druid since we're trying to play Frilled Mystic, which is blue. Kinda feel like there's a chance this is better as Incubation Druid. That'll probably be a change we make after this game. So next turn is their first Nissa turn. And then Spectral Sailor's sweet because this looks like we're possibly just holding up a Sailor activation if they don't play into our fish here. Yeah, there haven't been a whole lot of basic mountains on the ladder recently, and there's like two... There's two, It's a Leyline of Abundance. Okay. I think I'm just playing this and passing back again. Yeah, we've played a bunch of different Planeswalker decks before. The most recent Sarkin Planeswalker deck... Wait, which one's Masterless? Is Masterless the 5-drop? If you're talking about the 5-drop, we recently played Just Guys Super Friends on stream. Now, they might have Disdainful Stroke here, and that's why they waited. Aether Gust. I'm going to decline to put that one on top. Hey, HN here, Q. Thank you for the 4-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
Rise, my elemental friend.
Yeah, we played a Just Guy Planeswalker deck pretty recently on stream. That was pretty reasonable. Spectral Sailor sounds great here. We'll play this now. But you'll let this flip over at end of turn.
Do not assume I am fragile.
Yep. And then next turn we get to do the thing again, right? Like this is infinite. So if they don't have a counterspell or a mass manipulation here, hopefully they just like play a big Hydrate Graces, then we untap and kill them. This could be a mass manipulation. Hopefully it's just Krasis for 8 or whatever. Or 10. They could manipulate and yoink the whole board, though. That's 12. Please just draw 5 cards. Yeah, they're taking our stuff. I'm just dead next turn, right?
You fight like a city brat.
I'm gonna take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Nope, we're not dead. Nightpack Ambusher means we're not dead. So if their last 2 cards are blanks, we're not dead yet.
Behold, nature's true power.
Do we have outs from here? Yes. Any creature lets us combo next turn, right? I think, right? That doesn't do it. So, if I would have drawn, say... No, that doesn't work either, right? I wouldn't have had enough mana to get started initially. Down tick. The problem is then the Nightpack Ambusher... I don't have enough creatures to get started initially, chat.
is wonder.
Yeah, so like,
Grass.
this happens and I get a thing. So like I get a token and then I could do this for this costing 6, and then I'm one short here of getting started, right? So I need 1 more mana to get started. If I have 1 more mana, I can activate this on here, then I get to get going, but I'm 1 creature short. So their Aether Gust into Mass Manipulation there was a pretty good 1-2 punch on us. Pretty close, though. Like, we full comboed in the first game, and we got close to comboing that game through a Mass Manipulation, which is, like, they were on the play, and a lot went wrong for us there, and we still, like, had a pretty reasonable shot, which is sweet. I don't know. I wouldn't make changes to my deck based on that game. I just played where like lots of things went right for my opponent, and we still got a little unlucky and lost. If you make changes every time an extreme happens, you're always making changes. I think we mulligan this, right? This seems fine. I think I'm just getting rid of this. Have a good one, Bloodbath. Spells weren't permanents until they resolve. So spells are not permanents until they resolve, but Aether Gust reads spell. It says spell or permanent.
Let me show you what was
That wasn't the Frilled Mystic I wanted for Christmas. Maybe cutting these is wrong because they're just so good against Nissa lands. This card's just really good against Nissa. Reading is, some could even argue, essential.
I've seen puppies whine less than you.
So they almost certainly have a counterspell here, right? I think I'm just gonna chill and activate Spectral Sailor for the time being. Maybe I just jam and like make them have it. Yeah, I'm just gonna jam. It could just be an Aether Gust, right? Thoughts on 2 Tron wins this weekend? Yeah, obviously Hogok is fine, and you need to ban Tron lands. Anybody? Anybody knows? Anybody with a brain knows that, right? Brutal.
I guess you do not want to talk.
So we can activate this turn, and then next turn we can play a land and then activate this plus cast the Paradise Druid. They're picking a land up here. What do they need a 7th mana for? That. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to be running late today and tomorrow Full Metal because I'm off Wednesday afternoon and Thursday and Friday because it's Gen Con this week.
To the library.
Yay! Magic! I think Tron was a good metagame call against Gok. Can you explain? Because unless you have exactly all his dust, you're dead to Gok most of the time. Hey, Cold Stars. Congrats on your 47th.
Your research.
They named Nissa this time, so that means they drew Nexus naturally, and they're going to plus Nissa and then also take an extra turn. Will I be at Gen Con on Monday? Well, today's Monday. You mean the Monday after Gen Con? No. We're getting in Wednesday night, and we're leaving Sunday afternoon.
The story.
It's been so long. We've been very fortunate, haven't played against much Nexus today. I forgot how much fun this deck removes from the game.
Together, we will prevail.
Alright, well that means they don't have Nexus this turn at least, I guess. And this is at 1, so I get to Spectral Sailor kill her. Like, we just have to deal with Anissa.
I always survive. You'll see.
Oh no. Thought this deck was bad for streaming, but I'd totally forgotten about Nexus. Yeah. Nexus is like peak bad for streaming.
More data.
That's true. Our lands are gorgeous. We've got that going for us. I'm gonna concede to an Nexus here. That's where concede to any payoff, really. Do I play much Magic at Gen Con? I play zero Magic at Gen Con. In my box here, sleeved up in my BCW sleeves, I've got my Warhammer TCG deck, and I'm planning to play in a Warhammer event on Saturday morning. But other than that, not planning to do any trading card games at Gen Con. What faction am I playing for Warhammer? I'm gonna play an Order deck. Righteousness and Achillean Barrier Guard are some of my favorite cards in that game. Have you still been playing the Warhammer game on mobile? Yep. Yeah, I've been playing it on Steam on the PC a little bit too. Getting some extra reps in with the deck that I'm gonna play. It's a much smaller game, and the event is like their nationals or whatever they call it. It's just like for product and stuff like that. It's nothing too serious, but the game is very fun. It's very refreshingly different than Magic and other TCGs. Like even games like Hearthstone and stuff like that are very close to Magic in terms of how the mana system works, and the Warhammer game just works on a completely different resource system, which is refreshing. And the gameplay translates really well to mobile. And I just like happen to have a bunch of paper Warhammer cards because the Warhammer game is really slick in that when you buy a card in paper, you get to scan that same card into the digital app. So, and since it's not like Magic crazy secondary market, a lot of the paper cards are pretty cheap. So I bought most of the commons and uncommons, just like picked up a few of the rares I was missing. This hand's a little mana heavy. Did I play Netrunner at all? I have played Netrunner before. If you sat me down with 2 decks of it and asked me to play, I wouldn't know how. One of my buddies in undergrad was really big into Netrunner, and he half taught me how to play at one point. Does Warhammer have a mythic type rarity? Kinda. So they have, there's 4 starter decks in the Warhammer game, and there's 1 card in each of those starter decks that only comes in the starter deck that has a different rarity on it. But if you buy the starter deck, you're guaranteed to get that card. Which is an interesting way to incentivize people to pick up the precons. If you're someone that's looking for a different kind of card game to play that's like relatively cheap and has a good mobile client, the Warhammer game is definitely worth taking a peek at. And it is free to play. Is the card necessary to have in decks? I don't think so. So there's 4 of those, 1 for each starter deck, and I don't think I play them in any of the decks that I have. They're like more unique effects as opposed to like super powerful effects. It's called Warhammer Age of Sigmar Champions. I think I have, this is a really old YouTube video that's still applicable because the rules haven't really changed, that, I've streamed a little bit of it before. You think we've died? I think we've died, chat. Is there an Elefante in our future? Feels like there's an Elefante in our future. Gosh, it's been forever since we played against White Weenie. Tribunal, sure. It is a long name. They call it AOS Champions. AOS Champions rolls off the tongue a little bit better. But I agree, the name is a bit of a mouthful. The gameplay's good, though. I think I'm just going to put a couple Pulse of Murasa in and pull these Frilled Mystics out. I can trade off some things early. Maybe I just want a bunch of 5/4s in my deck. I probably have a hard time defending Vivien. Let's just, like, put a bunch of beefy blockers in. That's probably fine. Yeah, on Twitter and stuff, they're just at AOS Champions. Yeah, Wakeroot, we did get in the very first game, we got to do our combo. It's the only game we've won so far. Huh? I'm gonna YOLO keep this. If we hit a second land, we have plenty of mana. Like, these 1/3s are good. Perfect. Yeah, the paper cards are like comically cheap compared to Magic. I needed to pick up, I think I picked up 12 of the 40 cards from my deck that I was missing in paper, and I spent like a grand total of $15 buying them. At least we can kill this inside of combat, huh? Yeah, I mean, the White Weenie deck on my website has Time Reveler in it. Card's really good. Card's extra good in aggro, right? Because it's like a tempo play. Yeah, worth noting, if this had been Incubation Druid, we'd be worse off here, right? Nothing to see here. No plays. Just incredibly unlucky. Please pay no attention to the wolf behind the curtain. Maybe they'll think we're representing maybe they'll think we're representing Frilled Mystic. Yikes. Please attack it. If they don't attack into our 4/4, we're probably dead. Alright, maybe we have a chance. Maybe the problem here is that these two are knights as well. So like, they're about to mess us up inside of combat. Hey, Ashiok, thanks for the 21 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. That was a really good draw. It's something that lets us do something with our mana. It impacts the board and it picks that Nightpack Ambusher back up. We're gonna like die to this 3/2 in the air over the next few turns though. Ceratops has reach. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Let's get some more wolves established here first. Ceratops just gets diddled by Law Rune Enforcer though, right? We're dead to a second 3/2. Just do this to confirm, but yeah, it's a shame. We're one off of comboing there. Or we needed to get this into play and like have mana for it. If they hadn't drawn that Sky Marcher, we'd have been able to do it the following turn. It's a little bit too slow, though. Wow, did we drop like 400 slots with that loss? Brutal. It's a good thing we don't care about that this season, huh? Okay, we're gonna try one more with this one, then we're gonna wrap things up for the day. Been going for 9.5 hours. It's a good run. Yeah, if the Teferi hadn't sent our Leyline back, we probably would have had enough mana to work with there. I concur. Yep. Alright, well, we can start activating the ley lines next turn.
I know my responsibility. That's more like it.
Champion of the Wilds. It's been a while since I've seen that card on the other side of the table.
And end.
Wonder if they're playing like a Frilled Mystic deck? It's been a hot second. They should have bounced Leyline. I don't know, maybe. Oh, I should have played my Breeding Pool tapped here, right? Because I want to kill this. Yeah.
Not again.
Not again. Or if we find an Elemental, we can combo. Assuming they don't have, like, a blue source and a Frilled Mystic here.
Sorry I'm late. I've got time.
Coming back from a 6-month deployment, what standard deck would you recommend for getting back and to MTG? Simple, beat 'em up style. My two favorite aggressive decks right now are Naya Feather and Black Red Aristocrats. They're both like aggro decks that will let you run people over sometimes, but they also have a lot of play to them as the games go along, so I find them quite enjoyable.
Hell to lose to me. Tear it down. Tear it all down.
We've played a lot of Aristocrats recently, so there's a lot of videos of that one. Yeah, but like the Aristocrats deck's like is aggressive enough that you're gonna get some free game wins just because the deck is good. That's rude.
Every defeat is a new beginning.
Mono Vivien, Champion of the Wilds. Dot draw.
Wait. You think
I attacked with my Paradise Druid there, and they elected not to block because I could activate my Leyline of Abundance and give it +1/+1. That might be all 4 of them. No, it's just 3. I wonder if they have a Nightpack Ambusher of their own here. Shall I? Sure.
let's do this again.
I'm gonna do this and deny myself a wolf.
Would you like to see what's left of us? Starting over's the only way.
Oh, this card's been such a tilt today. He's collecting company and standard, yeah, basically.
I've seen worse.
I think we've died, chat. Deck's having some pretty typical ramp deck problems. Should that be Vivien's Arcbow instead, given the reach in this deck? It's an interesting suggestion. I can kind of dig that. They're playing like Bant stuff. I guess I just board in a Frilled Mystic. Our sideboard doesn't really have a lot of tools here. Yeah, it looks like they're just playing a Bant list from 2 seasons ago, right? That was the deck that was popular during RNA. I guess. Oh yeah, Vivien is War of the Spark, isn't she? Yeah, you're super right. What do you think of Hydroid Crisis instead of Nightpack Ambusher? Instead of me telling you you're wrong, tell me why you're right. Tell me why your suggestion is a worthwhile suggestion. What problem does my deck have that you're fixing by making that change? Alright, well, we get to kill this at least.
This isn't a fight you can win. Let's try this. Stop that. Now.
Sailor's like a crisis on layaway. Is I'm off of this. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I like the idea of Arcbow. So part of the problem with what this deck is doing is that, like, as far as like decks that don't interact go, I'm not sure that like the payoff of what this deck is trying to accomplish is like able to outrace these other linear decks in the format. Like, I feel like trying to assemble this, which we have some ways to find, but then like this that we're just hoping to draw into. And then the other issue is that, and you see this with these synergy combo decks a lot, is that ultimately a lot of the individual parts we're playing in this deck are incredibly weak. So like the first game where everything came together and we hit our combo, it was awesome. But you saw in the rest of these games, we just kind of fumbled around and didn't do a whole lot because the individual power level of our cards is just incredibly embarrassing. So we had a lot of ramp deck problems there, which Hydroid Crisis does go to solve ramp deck problems. Arcbow also does as well, though, right? Like, gives us something to do with our incredible amounts of mana. But, like, Hydroid Crisis draws us into this sometimes, at least. Arcbow doesn't. So I feel like what I would like to see tried with this deck, if I wanted to work on it some more, is I would want to try and fit this and this into a deck full of creatures that's otherwise full of playable cards, instead of like forcing it into this like deck full of mana creatures. Like this Leyline of Abundance felt really clunky and awkward every time we had it. Like this is like a ramp spell that's only good when you have other ramp spells. So like this combo is basically just a 2-card combo, right? It's obviously you need other creatures to go with it, but like this card is like okay on its own, and this card is like okay on its own. So if you take these 2 cards that are okay on their own and shove them into a creature deck that's just full of good creatures, you're probably gonna end up with something pretty reasonable, right? Because you can play like a mid-range card quality deck that like also has an oops combo in it. Yeah, something like an Explore package could be okay. Just like find another deck that wants to play a bunch of creatures to make this card happen, and then like slot these 2 into that style of deck, basically would be my recommendation. Instead of like if you look at this deck is 16 plus 16 pieces of mana plus 25 lands. This deck has 41 pieces of mana in it, which is just too much. Your deck is just like drawing mana and nothing else too much of the time. At any rate, that's going to be it for me for today, folks. I'm going to be on tomorrow for another long one. Plan to do another 9 to 10 hours tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a short day that's just Magic Online in the morning on Wednesday. And then I'm going to be off Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, and Friday. And I'll be back again on Monday. Remember, if you're going to be at Gen Con, feel free to come say hello. If you're a sub, we're going to coordinate in the IRL events channel in the subs Discord at some point for people that want to meet up at some point. So I will catch all of y'all around later. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your day. As always, remember you can find more of my stuff on my website and my YouTube channel. Looks like Allie is on, so I'm gonna send you over his way.